possible, and many of the states are active in doing this right now, and with great success. Arkansas just passed a law, you can't have an abortion after 12 weeks. Louisiana, you're required to offer a sonogram to young ladies, and many of them, after they see that baby, boy, they're saying, I'm already in love with it. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to raise it, and I'm just going to love that baby. You know, this granddaughter you heard me mention, that's 2 weeks old today. I saw her sonogram at 20 weeks, mid-pregnancy, at the time that abortions still occur. And these are 4D mammograms, which means it's almost like seeing a photograph of them. I mean, the technology on that is unbelievable. And the first thing I noticed is she looks just like her older brother. Can you believe that? And she does. She still, after being born, she's got a full head of hair. You can see all of that on the sonogram. And in one frame, you see her little foot just spreading the toes, just like that. In another frame, you see her sucking her thumb. In another frame, she has 2 fingers up, just like this. As though to say, be patient. Give me a little more time. I'll be out there to see you. And indeed, she was. We are aborting babies just like that today in abortion clinics in this country. Now, that is a travesty. So what I say to you is, wherever you are on this issue, we should reduce abortions. We should not encourage them. We should not have taxpayer money. And the outcomes, if you look at it, are very bad. What you're seeing is that women who have abortions, they have a higher rate of infertility, they have a higher rate of miscarriages, they have a higher rate of suicide and depression, endometrial problems, all the things that go along with those things. So the best thing to do is to raise up our daughters to be responsible and not to get pregnant until they're ready to do it, until they're mature, and until they're in a kind of relationship that will nurture that little baby as it grows up.
That's another question. Most of our public health care centers, say LSU Medical Center, is privatized now. It's basically privatization. We have a lot of our citizens who may not can afford to go. Is that they going to charge them if they have a job? They're going to charge them for health care services? Because there are a lot of people who live off of minimum wage. $7, $7.50 and all this. If you take that salary and average it out with living conditions with these young people, most of them don't own property where they can build homes or whatever. They're renting where they live. You have to take in consideration, out of that minimum wage salary that they're making, you have rent. You're going to have a vehicle to get to the job that you're doing. So you're going to have to do that. And by the state.
Let me go ahead and respond, because I want to make sure other people get a chance to ask questions too. In answer to your question, the privatization is to make the hospital system more efficient so that they can afford to take better care of people who don't have the money to spend. So I would say to you that's going to actually create more opportunities, because when you have a system that's more efficient, that can do more with less cost, you're going to get better results with that. So anyway, do we have other questions? Yes, sir.
With the Obamacare and the president delaying certain portions for whatever reasons, isn't there something that can be done about that? I mean, Congress is one who passed the laws, and if they're passed, should the president have the right to delay certain portions or make exceptions and all of that?
To some degree, he does have the ability to do that. To some degree, I think he oversteps his bounds. You have to understand, this bill was passed with an absolute supermajority of Democrats. You had 60 Democrats in the Senate, filibuster proof. You didn't have one single Republican who voted for it at any stage. And when they passed the law, they made the funding automatic, which means that we would have to pass a bill to stop the funding. They don't have to come ask us for funding. It's automatic. It's an open check. So whatever shortfalls this bill has, law has in funding, it's automatic. It just simply goes to the debt. Here. It was written in such a way that it gave broad capability to the Secretary of Civilians to fill in the blanks, and that's part of the problem. So we turned much of our congressional power over to bureaucrats in Washington, and that really is all under the guidance of the President himself. So, but having said that, he has overstepped his boundaries, no question. But remember that the law enforcement aspect of the federal government is the Department of Justice. And the Department of Justice does basically what he says. So he really has control of all of that. Congress does not have police power. We do not have law enforcement power in Congress. There is no such thing as congressional police. All we can do, or constitutional police, all we can do, or all anybody can do is sue and take it to court, and that sometimes takes years. What I think is going on is that the Democrats in Washington are now realizing just how difficult this bill is, this law is to implement, and the types of technologies necessary to make such a complex bill where you're micromanaging the behavior of humans, 310 million across the country, just doesn't exist. They're having to create it on the fly, and it's going to take years and years and years to do that. And I think if they look for every opportunity to delay it, I think it's quite possible that one of the things that we may end up doing is working together to delay it year over year until finally we go one direction or the other. They really want a single-payer system, which I think is a terrible idea. We don't. We want to make it a private, market-responsive, consumer-directed system. And so I think that the American people need to make that decision. And that's why I think it should be delayed. Because once it's implemented, it is going to be a big mess. It's going to be a big problem. Yes?
Congressman Fleming, we have a lot of people coming to our district office that are angry, discontented, because we are Americans, Republican, Democrat, Independents. There's more Americans who believe in the Constitution of the United States, who believe in God we trust, who are not progressive, but believe in the way that we were raised, to love our families, our God, and our country. And they want to be proactive. And they don't believe in the Gestapo mentality of the IRS, of the Justice Department, of the overreaching United States, with the President's administration. It's not personal to him, but it's what's coming out from his administration. So how can we help? What can we do to be proactive to help? Do we all have to march up there, let our voices be heard? What can we do to be proactive and not blind to sheep, just things as well, and move our country as well?
Well, there is a lot of anger in this country because people in general feel that government as a whole has scooped up far more power than what it should.
Amen.
And this administration is taking it to the next level. The IRS terrifies people. I mean, the IRS is very unique. American citizens fear the IRS more than any part of government. Why? Because number one, they know more about you than anybody else. I mean, if they know about all of your specific income data and expense data, they know more about you than anybody. Number two, the way that system works is you're guilty until proven innocent. And when the IRS is used as a political tool, that is a dangerous, dangerous thing. And that is the reason why I tell you folks, our founding fathers did not trust government. They did not design our form of government for you to trust it. That's the reason why we have three branches of government. Equal branches, or at least originally they were equal. You have the judiciary, you have the Congress, and you have the president. And we should be balancing each other out. But what has happened is that Congress has abdicated much of its power to the executive branch. And I think both parties have been guilty of that. And I see it today more than you do because it's worked its way into the bureaucracy. If you look at the agencies and departments, they have terrifying powers that we in Congress oftentimes are helpless to help you with. You come to us and we say, we don't have anything to offer because Some committee in Congress years ago advocated that power, and other than cutting funding off maybe. And so, to me, the IRS is the last straw, and maybe the NSA is another last straw, where, and I can tell you when it comes to the NSA is snooping on it. Now, it's still a question as to how much, but they are collecting the metadata on your phone calls, and there is someone within the NSA who can make a value judgment about that information and can get down and get content. They can do that. Now, whether they're doing that or not, I have no idea. They tell us that they're not. But again, are we supposed to trust our government? Well, I can tell you, the NSA never informed me, your congressman, that was going on. I voted for the Patriot Act renewal, the authorization renewal, but I was told that data was not collected by government, that it was left in the hands of the phone companies. And they only through a subpoena, only through a specific subpoena directed by a judge with suspicion was your data ever looked at. And then I come to find out, no, that isn't true. That data is being collected in computer warehouses